Everyone. So today we'll be discussing about the topic of respiration, which is in class 10 related to the life processes. The process how this particular air enters our body, how the air expels out from our body. That is the system that goes inside our body to regulate the entry and the exit of the air. The way by which the air moves inside from the environment into the body and from body to the environment. So as you can see, this respiratory system is located in the chest cavity. This chest cavity, it comprises of the diaphragm, which is present below, and this position of this particular chest cavity is the posterior portion. The front position is known as anterior and the down position is known as posterior. So if I say in our body, this is my anterior part and this is my posterior part. Whatever there is an end, and that end is a posterior part and the upper part is an anterior part. Similarly, if I talk of these sides, these are the lateral sides of the chest cavity. If I say this portion, this is my ventral position, and if I talk of this my back, that makes the dorsal position. So dorsal, ventral, anterior and posterior. This is how this particular chest cavity is actually making the lungs to get protected. Now, the role of diaphragm here is very important. If I talk of the process inhalation and a process of exhalation, the major role that is played is by this diaphragm. This diaphragm is actually a dome-shaped structure. But when the body needs to inspire, when the body needs to inhale the air, it is not the air which is making these things to get changed. It is the change which occurs in our body to make the air to get inside. So, the diaphragm, which is actually dome shape, it will become flattened. Now, if it becomes flattens, if I have an area like this, okay, now if it becomes flattened, the area over this chest cavity will increase. Similarly, these red color one, they are the ribs. And these ribs, they are attached to the lungs via the intercostal muscles. The muscles which are present, these are the intercostal muscles which are present in between the lungs and the ribs. Now these muscles, they contract. If I use the word contract, then if this is a spring, the contraction is like this. And if I say that it is in a relaxed position, then either you can go this way or they relax in the form of this way. Means the cavity here, if I say they are getting relaxed, in short, then this particular lungs and the ribs, they will be raised off. यहाँ पे ये अगर हम मेरा dorsal position है and if this is the ventral position, then ये spring जो है वो क्या हो गया है? Increase हो गया. So, if I have a cavity like this, because of the contraction and relaxation, ये cavity क्या होती है? This cavity goes on decreasing and increasing. For what I said, the diaphragm, it becomes flattened. And second thing is, ये जो spring है, ये contract हो गया. अब ये contract हुआ, तो जो lungs थे, they have been pulled towards the outside. तो जो मेरी cavity छोटी सी थी, the smaller cavity has now widened up. Diaphragm flattened, the intercostal muscles shortened up. As a result, the smaller quantity, आप यहाँ पे देखिए कि इन दोनों के बीच में that spring is present, the intercostal muscles are present. Now these intercostal muscle, if I contract, then this cavity increases. Now if the cavity is increasing, here I am saying the cavity is increasing, that means area is increasing. Now if area increases, then pressure of the gas inside the lung cavity, it decreases. For this what we have, pressure is equal to force upon area. Now if area is increased, pressure will decrease. Now if the lungs have less pressure of the air inside, then what will happen? The air which is present in this surrounding, in this atmosphere, will move inside the lungs. So it's a very simple process of inhalation, where what we say, this diaphragm that is present is flattened up. After flattening up, the intercostal muscles which are present here, they contract. If they contract, they make the cavity, the chest cavity, to increase in its size. Now, increased size of this chest cavity leads to decrease in the pressure. Now, decreased pressure makes the air to enter from outside to inside. The process of exhalation is, you can say, it's opposite of inhalation. The diaphragm, now which was flattened up, it will, very good, it will become dome shape. Now when it has become dome shape, the cavity is somehow reduced. The spring, the intercostal muscles that were contracted, now they become relaxed. Now if they get relaxed, what happens? The cavity will decrease. If the cavity will decrease, its area will decrease. And if its area will decrease, the pressure will increase. And this will make the air from the lungs to move from inside to the outside. So this is how the inspiration and expiration is occurring in our body. Now, a fixed amount of the air moves inside. We are inhaling, but that inhalation of air does not compensate what goes inside our body. So there are fixed volume of air that are entering into our body. So let's talk about this entering, and this entering are termed as the respiratory volumes. The respiratory volumes, if I talk of, they are like, if I say this is my alveolar cavity. This is my alveolar cavity. Now the minimum amount of air that could be taken inside or could be expelled outside is known as tidal volume. It is known as tidal volume. Now if I say that this is my lung, alveoli. So I'm just imagine a balloon which is going to be, inflated because of the air you are blowing inside. So for me, this is the tidal volume. The volume of air which is taken inside in a normal respiration. Now, if you take the air forcefully, the volume of that balloon, of that alveoli will increase. So the amount of volume, if I say, is getting inside the lungs, getting inside the alveoli. So that's a forceful air that is being used. So this is known as inspiratory reserve volume. You don't go with this volume as such. ये तब होता है when you do yoga or when you are in a very much need of air inside your body. Now similarly, if I expel a large amount of air outside, so this air which is expelled outside forcefully is known as expiratory reserve volume. Now you can see that even if I blow a large amount of air from my body, some amount of air still remains. And that remaining air is known as residual volume. What if there would have been no residual volume? आप अपना सांस बंद करते, if you have stopped your breath, what would have happened? During that particular thing, then your air, your body would have died off. So, it's better, what has to be done? So, this is the function of the residual volume, where this volume of air is actually needed by the body so that a particular time should be there for the exchange of gases. Now, if I am talking of this particular system, there needs to be a system which will carry this air to the different organs, and for that the body needs a circulatory system. So let's see how circulation of the air it occurs in this particular diagram, and how the alveoli they are going to give this oxygen to the blood, and how this oxygen is going to reach to the different body parts.